Everyone knows.
every arc, a Hashira either dies or gets his hands cut off. I'm sick of it. Yeah,
But as you already know, they're meant to die.
I know,
That's
I know.
literally what they get paid to
We've
do.
talked
They
about
get
this
paid to
before.
die.
When we first started this podcast and we first started talking about Demon Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
um, I didn't know much about it. I don't read manga. I just watch animes. I have manga collections like behind me and stuff, and I like to collect certain manga that I love, but I didn't know much about it until I started reading forward and started reading articles and reading captions and fandom boards and shit like that. And I
Oh, you
started
got
looking.
into it. Nice.
I did because I like Demon Slayer, and I started realizing that yes, Demon Slayers and Hashira were never stronger than the Moons.
Mm-hmm.
Never. They're just there as like a. They're
Deterrent.
like. They're like a road. They're like a fucking wall against a hurricane. They're just meant to stop it long enough to keep it away from people.
Mm-hmm.
They're never meant to stop it completely, and I started realizing that more. So I was just like, I get it, even though I don't like it, but it is a different spin on an anime
Mm.
besides like the strong 12 guys are like gonna always kick the demon's ass. Like, no, like we're just trying to survive out
we
here.
just we just
Um,
trying to make ends meet, bro.
and I actually I appreciate, I don't like it and I appreciate it at the same time
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like, oh, these demon slayers are so fucking badass. The only thing I don't like about Demon Slayer is they put Tanjiro in these like he should have fucking died moments, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere he pulls an ass pull and then wins. That's my thing. That's
He's
my
the main
opinion.
character. That's what MCs do.
I know that's the point, but it's very, very obvious.
Would you rather him die and then they use the Dragon
I'd
Balls to bring
rather
him
him
back?
not get put in I'd rather him not get put in those like clear lined positions.
Mm.
Like if like there's ways and other animes have done it perfectly where the main character we know is supposed to just pull it out of his ass and win,
Mm.
but it wasn't that clear that he was in that bad of a position. But when you get sliced the fuck up, you have zero energy for like 20 minutes. You say that
Poisoned.
you can't move your arms or legs, you can't see, and then you get stabbed in the fucking mouth by a poison scythe, and then all of a sudden you have all this energy and you start fucking swinging for the hit. Like, get the fuck out of
In
here.
his defense, like they talk about it more in the manga versus the anime. That the breathing that they do heals them. So in that
I mean, their
time where
powers aren't real anyways, but
I mean the powers are
they're not real.
okay.
They're
So
not
the
real.
fire and the water you see, those things aren't real.
That's
Yes,
how they imagine themselves
but their
fighting.
breathing techniques that they do, it actually heals them. So every
Not
time,
anymore.
that's why they always like when he was training, they were always telling him control your breathing. Your
Yeah,
breathing techniques is the most important part. When
but
he's sitting still breathing, he's internally healing his body. So that if
he
one
was
point he
far
can't
gone.
move, he can't move.
But you mean to tell me he got beat? And I love Demon Slayer. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch all the ass pulls in the world. So I don't give a fuck, right? But I'm just red selling it because he has been put in situations where he wasn't worse off. He was less injured, and it took him a whole day and a half, 2 days. He was passed out, couldn't recovering.
Mm.
But this man was literally stabbed in the fucking mouth, like with a scythe, a poison scythe that was stuck in his mouth.
Oh man, okay.
He couldn't move his arms or legs. His tendons, his fingers were fucked. It was either his wrist or his fingers were like almost cut the fuck off.
Mm.
Literally couldn't grip his sword. His hand was like limp like this on his sword. And then he grows his little curse mark to do his daddy's little technique, and then he wins. Like, I understand
We'll
my
get
boy.
there. We'll get there.
I
Like you'll learn
understand my
more.
boy. I know what's going on with him. I know the powers he has. I've already read forward. But
So why
I
you
get
seem
my
so
boys.
confused? Then it seems like you're like,
I
how's
get
that
my boy
happening?
Zenitsu. I get my boy Zenitsu winning. Understandable. That's Zenitsu. I get it.
Hold on, you put
But
Zenitsu over Tanjiro?
absolutely, if Zenitsu learned, and it said this before by the Hashira themselves. Future, you've read it. Hashira have said if this boy would wake up and learn like maybe one more technique, he would be unstoppable. He's faster than all the Hashira.
He is the fastest. He's the fastest
He would be unstoppable.
Hashira Demon Slayer there is.
If he stopped being scared and woke up and could do that, he
You
would
think
be
he could be
unstoppable.
Tanjiro though?
Absolutely.
Tanjiro uses two
Abso-fucking-lutely.
different breathing techniques.
Doesn't matter. Tanjiro's slow. Zenitsu didn't get injured not one time in that fight.
Sorry, guys. Spoiler. He uses two separate breathing techniques. He's
I know. It's not a spoiler. That happened like 2 seasons ago.
no.
The fire in the water.
I mean, he used it one time, but he
Yeah,
like
that's
the
not a
spoiler
spoiler.
is
We know he has
he's
fire
going
in the
to
water.
use that
I know he's going to master it more. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a given. That's
Oh,
any
okay.
anime.
I just don't
That's
want to spoil everybody. You know?
that's any anime. But I'm saying like Zenitsu, I believe,
Mm.
like right now, right fucking now, if Tanjiro and Zenitsu were to fight, and Zenitsu got scared because Tanjiro was like bloodlusted, Zenitsu falls asleep because he's tired, he would clap fucking Tanjiro's cheeks. No ass pulls, no plot armor. Zenitsu would
Bloodlusted
clap him.
Tanjiro
Blood,
versus sleeping Zenitsu.
yeah, wins, 100%. He's
Give
already
me a second. Give me
faster
a
than
second.
all
Give me
the.
a
He's
second. Give me a second.
faster than all the Hashira already.
Right now,
He's almost he didn't get scratched out one time in that whole fucking fight.
Tanjiro. Right now, Tanjiro is on the preliminary, the cusp of mastering his that the extra power when his the little mark appears.
That's a rage moment, but yeah.
No. It's an actual thing. Like that's going to be a skill that they need to
I
master.
know it's a skill, but just like the Nine-Tailed Fox, he rages into the Nine-Tails and then he learns how to master it.
I
And
mean,
it's the same
that
fucking
would
thing.
be like saying Kid Sasuke can beat Naruto unless Naruto rages. He's gonna rage. He's gonna beat him.
Yeah, but Tanjiro is still miraculously winning all these fights and being good, right? And like surviving. But we see Zenitsu in his fights counter to his fights, and Zenitsu's fucking putting in work, not losing. The only time he got fucked up was against the spider, the Upper Moon's family, that little spider thing, and then Shinobu came and fucking rescued him, like gave him the potion, but he still won. He got poisoned, and then he cut the head off, and then he just laid there, and he was like, I guess I'm gonna die. But Zenitsu's a fucking winner.
You love Zenitsu,
Zenitsu's
and
a
this is
winner.
going to be hard to argue because you're right. He's super fast. When he actually uses that technique, it's really going to be super hard to stop him. But
Thunder
don't-
breathing, first form. He doesn't
that
need any more
thunderclaps.
forms.
I mean,
He's a winner.
It goes off, but
He's a winner. And
I still don't.
we all
I don't
had
have
we
him
all
beating Tanjiro, I'm
speculated
sorry.
we all speculated that eventually he would wake up. But since we saw that last fight with the sister and the brother, he was asleep the whole fucking time and still clapping cheeks.
And
Didn't get a scratch on.
taking commands. Like he was still responding.
He was still responding to
talking.
commands. He was talking to Inosuke, telling him where to go. He was taking commands and giving commands at the same time.
You still got him over Tanjiro?
Imagine if he was awake and wasn't scared. And
But he's a
could do
one
that.
trick pony though. Tanjiro
Imagine if you
has many tricks.
one trick pony. Tanjiro's over there like, and Zenitsu's like, all right, go to the left. I'm gonna take right, and he's just like,
He's a one-trick pony.
if that trick works, why do you need more?
Okay, I can't argue that. Tanjiro has many ways of dealing with that.
Tanjiro
one
has
trick,
no
though.
tricks because they don't win.
They have
None of them
all
survive.
the tricks. He wins all
Okay.
the time.
Tanjiro's a one-trick pony because the only way he can actually pull a W or at least almost have a W is to use that fire breathing dance that his dad does. Nothing else works. Not a single fight has anything else worked besides like the minor little demons and like the little side story where a demon comes and tries to capture the little girl in the village and he uses the water breathing shit and kills it. Like that's like a that's not even an upper moon.
To be fair, you're right. You're right. But to be fair, that I don't know why I keep holding this damn plug. To be fair, there's a certain point where Tanjiro stops fighting regular demons and he's fighting lower moons and upper moons. Where
That's all they've been doing.
Well, no, because remember in the beginning, like he fought the every time he hits his little drum, it flips everything. He fought that dude without using fire techniques.
Zenitsu won his fight. He won his one.
I mean, luckily, he
Luckily, he fell asleep. Walked.
He
got
had
up
to
and killed
fall
him.
asleep first.
Didn't matter.
If he
What
didn't fall
did
asleep,
Tanjiro
then
do?
what?
What did Tanjiro do?
He beat the demon. What do you mean?
He was getting.
He
his
beats
fucking
all the
cheeks slapped.
demons. He always beats his demons.
Oh,
he
he
wins
didn't
his
win.
ones.
He didn't win against his spider, Lower Moon, the number 8, I believe. He didn't win against that one. He didn't win against.
Did he not beat him?
No, he almost cut his head off. He
Oh
had a
yeah,
thread left,
then he had to get
and then-
saved by
Then Tomioka Gyu
you're right.
came in and won.
Okay, that's one. That's one.
He didn't even win against his own sister,
Who do you mean?
Nezuko.
What do you mean?
Nezuko, the first time he wasn't Demon Slayer, I was trolling. But the second time when Nezuko fucking freaked out, he almost died from his own sister. Of course he didn't want to fight her.
He didn't want to fight her. You can't use that as an example.
She was.
Look
she
here,
was caked out
Tanjiro
when
wins
she
his
grew up.
ones.
Goddamn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Zenitsu wins every one of his
Tanjiro
runs.
is literally the focal point and the reason why they win in everything.
Every one of his
He
runs.
teaches them the new skill.
You know,
he
the Lakers,
masters breathing techniques and forces
the Lakers
Zenitsu to
back
learn
in 1990s. The Lakers only ran 5 different plays. Everybody knew them, and they worked because there was nothing but fundamentals. They were pretty much one-trick ponies, and they won the ship.
Okay,
so it doesn't matter, one-trick pony or not. He wins all of his ones. That's it. Every single one.
What are his ones though? He's had one where he had to fight in the fucking the geisha house with the drum dude, and he had another fight in the spider forest.
One.
Who else he fought?
And he won against the chick with when he was looking like a girl. Won against that.
You're talking about the last arc?
The last fight.
He fought with Inosuke. That's not fair. Inosuke
was fucked up.
Inosuke was putting in work for that fight.
Inosuke has not won a single one of his ones.
Inosuke was putting in work for that fight. What do you mean?
Yeah, he had to.
They both had to. You think he would have been able to beat her by himself?
Zenitsu, absolutely.
Get the fuck out of here.
If him and Tanjiro,
now you capping.
If Tanjiro wasn't so fucked up and stopped giving commands, and they were both like working in unison because they figured out they had to cut both their heads off at the same time, it would have worked out. But Tanjiro was over on the ground like when Zenitsu and fucking Inosuke finally got to her head when it was the time to do it. Tanjiro was nowhere to be found. It was like, are you like they cut her head off. And then they were like, "What is his head gone?" Like, and then they looked down, and the boy was still
the stronger demon. You're talking about the stronger one. They were able to beat the weaker one, and they were wondering why the Hashira and the strongest non-Hashira couldn't beat him yet.
You're the main character and a Hashira. That's crazy.
And he still had to pull out every ass pull he had in his backpack.
And Zenitsu and Inosuke didn't have to do shit.
Did Inosuke have to move his heart
You're a main character.
One point, or he would have died?
Yeah, that's Inosuke. Inosuke doesn't win his ones that much.
Doesn't Zenitsu have to be asleep in order to be good?
One trick pony, like you said, but as long as it works, it works. He was asleep the whole time. Can
Tanjiro pull off any technique without being asleep or any ass pulls?
He can't pull off any technique without being fatally wounded, apparently.
What? He can use any technique anytime.
He was almost dead with the spider. He was almost dead with the girl, with the fucking girl. He was fucked up by the dude in the fucking beating house.
They just became demon slayers. You can't really get them for that. They were literally the lowest.
The one time we've ever seen Zenitsu
rank.
on the ropes. The only time we've ever seen Zenitsu on the ropes was with the spider. When he was literally poisoned and he was like, okay, I'm going to die. And then Shinobu came out of nowhere.
Zenitsu is on the ropes every fight until he goes to sleep.
Every fight?
Until he goes to sleep.
What they've been doing in the anime is every time they're about to get into a fight, Zenitsu is obviously I don't want to go. And then he immediately falls asleep because he's scared before they even get into the damn thing.
You mean the last arc? Because everything before he was just scared all the time until for some reason he knocked himself out and he's sleeping or some shit like that.
Because he falls asleep because he's too scared. He scares himself to sleep. He passes out pretty much. He passes out. Which... But they literally say if he wakes up and can do what he does in his sleep, he's faster and stronger.
You're right.
Everybody.
But that's a caveat. He has to be asleep. When he can do those things awake,
has to be
now we have a
wounded.
conversation. No, he does not. He does not have to be fatally wounded. He actually masters that technique and then teaches everyone, even a Hashira, that technique.
I'm talking about right now. I said right now. I didn't say anything in the future.
What technique what does he have to be fatally injured to do?
So when he was fighting the spider was the first time we saw him do his flame technique.
Yeah.
First time. He was literally fucked. His sister had to fucking save him because he was about to die.
Yeah.
His fatally wounded, about to die, same jit.
But he didn't need to be fatally injured.
It didn't matter.
In order to do it. He just realized
it doesn't matter. That's what happened.
Let me use this technique.
Doesn't matter. That's what happened.
No, that's not.
Doesn't matter.
You're painting a picture at which he has to be hurt in order for him to do something. Zenitsu has to be asleep for him to do something.
True, yeah. And I never said Zenitsu had.
But Tanjiro doesn't have to be hurt.
Yes, he does.
It just happens he was hurt when he did it.
So it just happens to be that he uses that strong power when he's really hurt or about to die.
But then he uses it when he's not hurt.
When?
everything from the future when he realizes, one, I can use
I
it.
didn't say
and
so.
then,
I'm talking about right now in the anime. Nobody said
right
anything
now
about the
in the
future.
anime, Tanjiro will beat the brakes off of Zenitsu.
Bro, he
Zenitsu
can't
is
stop crying. First of all,
Who?
Zenitsu can't stop crying?
No, Tanjiro can't stop crying.
Tanjiro,
First of all,
Tanjiro's a
we
G.
just-
Don't talk about Tanjiro dying. Tanjiro cut a nigga down and be like, hey,
we just
one out
talked
for you,
about
bro.
the fact. So let's look at the facts here.
Okay, go ahead.
We're not talking about future. Nothing came out in the anime for the future.
Okay.
It's only
Let's
manga.
talk
You're
about the
referencing
facts.
manga.
Let's talk about
Let's
the facts.
reference anime.
Anime only.
Anytime he has ever used his flame breathing technique or his strong flame technique, right? He has only ever used it when he is either A, fatally wounded or about to die, and his sister has to save his life, and then he finally uses that fucking technique. Like we see.
Are
we
you
see,
talking about one time? Because you're talking about only one time right now.
No.
Every time he doesn't have to be saved by his sister first, and then he uses it.
So when he was fighting the spider, his sister saved his life. He used
One
the flame
time,
technique.
okay.
The last arc, his sister saved his life, and he used
Everyone
his
was
flame technique.
fighting. It's not. She didn't
His
just
sister-
suddenly save him
His
and
si-
then he can
Yes,
use
she
it.
did. She was not. When did she was not fighting. She
We're
turned
going
in her
to
final
run it
form.
back. Huh? We're
She
going
did.
to
She
run it
turned
back.
into her final form. She was not fighting.
That specifically is anime only because that did not happen in the manga. So,
Well,
but if
did
we
not
want to
just
talk
say
about,
anime? Did we not just say anime though?
but we're talking about current. If we're going to talk about
Yeah, in the
current,
anime.
we cannot say that hey, because they did it in the anime, that's how it really is. That's not.
I mean, that's how it is for
That's
half the
not
people
canon.
that don't read manga.
It's not canon though.
So one of the biggest fights in all of
That was
in
fan
all of
service,
like,
bro. That was
of
literally
that.
fan service.
Either way, okay. Say his sister didn't
Uh-huh.
save him. Let's take that completely out because my whole point is that he is literally fatally wounded. That's when he freaks out. His scar gets hot, and then he uses his flame technique.
That's the first time he used. No,
So that's
the
twice.
flame technique isn't attached to the scar. Those are two completely separate things.
But I'm saying he still uses his flame technique. Whenever he starts a fight or he's fighting until he's thrown on the ropes, he uses his water technique because that's what he's comfortable with. I don't discredit him for that.
Yeah.
If that's what you're comfortable with, that's what you've learned, cool.
Yeah.
But he only pulls out the flame when he's fucked up or on the ropes.
But he doesn't know the flame technique though. That's the whole
And
point.
I never said that. I never said he does know it. I'm
But
just
why
saying.
would he use something that he doesn't know?
Bro,
How
you're
does he know?
taking this off topic though.
That's not off topic. How would it-
My point is he only uses it when he's fatally wounded
But
or
he's
hurt.
not using. He's not saying, "All right, flame on." He's not doing that. It's coming out.
It's happening.
And then when he realizes I can do it, then
But
he starts to use it.
But you're saying to the point of Zenitsu has to be asleep, right, in order to use his power, which I don't disagree with you.
Uh-huh.
That's obvious. That's the whole point of his character.
Yes.
Currently, right
but
now,
then
he
you
has
said
to
we
be
are
asleep.
only talking about currently. So
Currently
I said,
in the
fine,
anime.
you got me there.
Yes.
Currently
Currently
in the anime and
all-
manga, currently, nothing in the future. Currently, he does not need to be hurt to use it. He just didn't know he could use it. He doesn't know anything
No,
about
I mean,
it.
no shit. Zenitsu doesn't have to be
He
asleep
kn-
until he learns how to do it.
But he knows he's
how to do
always
it.
known how to do it though. He's always
but
known
I'm
how to do
saying-
Thunderclap. He just
but I'm
sucks
saying-
at it.
Unless
he's asleep.
If them two were to get into a fight,
Uh-huh.
right? Just you have a power. Just because you have a power, if you don't know how to use it until you're fatally wounded, because you're like you have to pull something out, which is called an as pull, like that special power that you get at the end whenever you're about to die. Then we can't call that he could use two breathing techniques. He would clap Zenitsu because he can only use that when he's on the ropes. Even if he has it, just because you have something, if you don't know how to use it, it's practically
So
useless.
how are you going to make the argument for Zenitsu then? So let's create the scenario. By the way, I am clipping this
That's
out
fine.
of the main thing. Let's make a
So-
scenario. Tanjiro versus Zenitsu, right? They're like,
Tanjiro
okay, you know
versus
what? I'm sick of your shit. We're about to fight. Or
This is-
Zenitsu's like, I'm marrying your sister.
Yeah,
We're fighting.
Let me explain.
How does Zenitsu beat him?
Bloodlust? Because currently, right now, we can only see that he uses that technique when he is about to lose. Currently, I'm not saying he doesn't have the power. He doesn't just magically said fucking flame on or whatever. When he's like on the ropes and he's like fuck, like come on, think.
You're right.
think,
You're right.
think.
You're right. Okay.
Right. So that to me that's different than Tanjiro just being mad and using the power because we haven't seen him do that. He's been fucking pissed off before.
I understand. I'm using future knowledge, and that's not fair. You're right.
It's not fair.
Him being when you said bloodlusted, that automatically equals that for me. But let's not.
Him
Bloodlust don't
being
equal
pissed.
that. Okay.
Him being pissed the fuck off does not equate to what we've seen so far. Because he's been pissed the fuck off, and all he's used is his water.
I mean, has he though? When is
I'm
he
not saying
pissed?
bloodlust. The only bloodlust time we've seen so far has been when he was fighting the brother and sister.
Yeah,
It's when his scar came out and shit like that.
But
right?
that's his bloodlust. That is the bloodlust ability. So that's why when
I'm saying,
you say
like,
bloodlust,
all out, not like friend and friend fight. Just they are going to fight. Zenitsu fucking falls asleep.
You see what you did there? You can't do that. We're in a situation where Zenitsu and Tanjiro are facing off. Whatever. I'm marrying your sister. You're not marrying my sister. We're going to fight. Bet.
If
Zenitsu's just going to fall asleep.
If Tanjiro wants to fight Zenitsu, right? If Tanjiro wants to fight Zenitsu out to kill him, Zenitsu's going to fall asleep because he's afraid. He's scared. He's a scaredy cat. I'm not giving that. I'm not taking that away from anything. He's a scaredy cat.
You really trying with this? Ain't no fucking way, bro. You're telling me
Zenitsu's gonna.
You're telling me in a fight where they both say that we're going to fight each other, Zenitsu's going to be like, okay, we're going to fight. I'm scared. No.
Have we not seen that before?
No. Zenitsu has never been like, I'm going to fight you, and then be like, all right, I'm going to go sleep first though.
He's definitely pulled. What? Who the fuck was it? He pulled up to a fight. He's definitely pulled up to a fight where he was like scared, shaking his sword, like, we're gonna do this. And then the thing came forward, and he was like,
he didn't want to fight though.
There's no way we can compare.
We're creating a situation in which they are going to fight, and they both know they're going to fight. He's not just going to go to sleep. Tanjiro is whipping that ass. Unless Tanjiro knocks him out mid-fight, then I will give you that argument.
Even if say Tanjiro comes up on him, uses a water technique, scares the fuck, because Zenitsu's a scaredy cat, so I don't think he'd be wanting to fight anybody anyways. Mm-hmm. But if they were to say like, let's fight, which I don't think Zenitsu would want to anyways, but they're like, let's fucking fight. Tanjiro comes up because obviously them both awake unless Zenitsu again pulls an as pull, which he never has done before, so he can't bring it up. But like, if Tanjiro comes towards him and fucking starts slashing him with fucking water, Zenitsu is going to get fucking freaked out.
Maybe.
He's not going to use fire.
You're saying maybe. You think he may fall asleep.
No.
Zenitsu is not afraid of demon slayers, though. He's afraid of demons.
Yeah, he's afraid of fighting.
He's afraid
That's
of
what he
demons.
said. He said that in the beginning.
Fighting demons. They only fight demons.
He said yeah, but I'm saying even when they were doing training and shit, he's fucking freaked the fuck out.
But he never fell asleep.
Even when he was, because nobody was coming for him mortally. Nobody was coming for him mortally.
You see,
he could be afraid.
You have to graft this scenario where he's afraid of Tanjiro now suddenly, where he's going to fall asleep.
If Tanjiro is coming to kill him, yes, he will be afraid.
Why would Tanjiro just be coming to kill him then?
Well, then what's the point of the whole?
If you're creating a situation where only Tanjiro wants to kill him, but
they
Zenitsu
both want to fight.
Okay, so if they both want to kill each other, he's not going to go to sleep.
The point is, we've seen Tanjiro want to kill people, want to fight. We've seen he always wants to fight.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to fight, but he feels the need to fight. Yes.
Either way, he has the strong will or urge to do that. We've never it's automatically fabricated for Zenitsu because he never wants to fight. So it's automatically fabricated.
So he just wouldn't fight then.
It's not all fabricated to think that Tanjiro has the will to fight for something to fight someone.
Human. That's fabricated.
I mean, that may be fabricated, but just to fight in general.
We have to fabricate a scenario for Tanjiro, then we also have to fabricate the scenario for Zenitsu. If we're going to say Tanjiro wants to kill Zenitsu, we got to say Zenitsu wants to kill Tanjiro. And if that's the case, he's not afraid.
I mean, but he's always been afraid. But
he's never had to fight a human, though.
The point is, well, I mean, he's seen what fucking Tanjiro can do. You think, hell, Zenitsu was fucking terrified of the Hashira. He was fucking absolutely
never fell asleep,
terrified.
though?
Because they've never tried to fight him.
I mean,
we never seen it.
What's his name?
Tengen?
Tengen? He literally yoked his ass up. He didn't pass out in that moment. He came at him and yoked him up.
When they talk about the aura and bloodlust coming off demons being an aura that you can feel, it's kind of like spiritual pressure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Zenitsu, as a demon slayer, can feel shit like that. Tengen doesn't... There's certain Hashira that don't strike me as like, I'm going to throw my bloodlust at you. He yoked him up because he's a fucking petty little private for he's a PFC. He's like a PFC of demon slayers. That's like us yoking one of our boots up. Like it's not a bloodlusted thing. So we can fabricate a scenario, but it doesn't have to be the exact same thing for both of them. So we fabricate the fact that Zenitsu wants to fight at all, and because he doesn't want to fight anything or anybody, he is a scared child. He didn't even want to train in the thunder crash form until he fell asleep, which is funny because we talk about not falling asleep, but every time his master would try to train him or would try to fight him, he would get so scared he'd run up in a tree and fall asleep, and that's when he would start mastering that technique. So he did fall asleep to humans. He was never around demons
and went to sleep. It's kind of different.
I mean, his master was trying to fight him, trying to beat his ass.
He was trying to train him, and he was hiding.
He was trying to train him, but he was beating his ass.
And then he just fell asleep while hiding.
And then he fell asleep. We can't talk. I mean, are we going to talk about what he was actually feeling in that moment? No, we're not.
I mean, if we talk about villains and scenarios,
okay, then Tanjiro's coming after him, and he fucking has to run away. He falls asleep, and then he comes back.
Now you've created a believable situation. Tanjiro's after him. He doesn't want to fight. He hides, and then he wakes up. He falls asleep, and then he's in his form. Can he beat Tanjiro now?
Yes. 100%.
In a scenario where Tanjiro is also trying to kill him, not, I don't want to hurt you.
Hell, maybe not even trying to kill him, but like trying to hurt him badly. He doesn't have to kill him. It is what it is. But like he's coming for Zenitsu. I'm gonna get them cheeks no matter what. Zenitsu's like, I don't want to fucking fight you, and then runs away and tries to hide just like his master did, or just like he did with his master. Zenitsu's gonna fall asleep because he's afraid. He's afraid of everything. He doesn't like fighting. He's gonna realize that Tanjiro starts striking him with the water, doing whatever Tanjiro has to do to fucking get to him. Zenitsu's gonna win, 100%, because he's gonna have his thunder. He has no remorse. Zenitsu doesn't care when he's in his sleep forward.
He don't give a fuck. In a scenario where Zenitsu can fall asleep and has space and opportunity to do his thunderclap,
I don't even think space is a.
I mean, if he's like sitting right in front of Tanjiro.
He was sitting right in front of that demon in that tiny little bamboo hut, and he fucking got that shot off. So
I mean, he has a whole prep for it though, right? And Tanjiro knows his ability. He's not gonna be like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?"
This is an anime fight. He's gonna
move. I mean, but Tanjiro's actually an intelligent fighter. He uses his brain and he knows his ability.
I don't know. He's thrown himself into some dumb shit.
Because he has a hero's complex. That's what hero complex MCs
That's not intelligent. That's not intelligent.
But he still wins his fight using his brain.
Zenitsu doesn't need to use his brain. He wins his ones. He wins all his ones.
In that scenario where Zenitsu can get a thunderclap off, yes, he could beat Tanjiro.
The point I'm trying to make is Tanjiro cannot use right now his second breathing technique because he does not know how to until he's like, I have to do something that isn't what I've been doing this whole fucking fight because I'm about to die. So
that's a solid point.
Here's another scenario. If Zenitsu comes for Tanjiro and he doesn't one hit killer him, but he fucking fucks Tanjiro up really bad, I'll give him his second breathing form because that's when I've seen him use it, is when he's on the ropes about to die. Because I think Zenitsu would beat him. So then at that point, you have to talk about who's faster at that point because Tanjiro's really strong when he can use his fire, but Zenitsu's still faster.
Because we also got to talk about, yes, Zenitsu is definitely going to be the faster one and an overwhelming force, but Tanjiro's different. The fact that he has 8 different forms of let's talk about his water breathing. Those different forms all have their own purpose. Like you
absolutely.
have forms for cutting, you have forms for evading. It literally makes you an all-around fighter. The fact that Zenitsu only has that one trick, and let's be real, that thunderclap is a straight line. Yes, he can do boom, 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 boom. It's still a straight line. While Tanjiro has his forms allow him to move. I mean, yeah, he can dodge in midair, but at the end of the day, yes, he still moves in a straight line. He doesn't do that. It's a straight line. While Tanjiro's ability allows him to move around, dodge things, evade things. Remember the fight against the dodgeball dude who's throwing the dodgeballs? His ability allowed him to literally dodge those speeding fucking dodgeballs.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen in the fight with the brother and sister, Zenitsu may have been going in straight lines, but he was all over the fucking map. Like he was all, and you couldn't even fucking see him. The girl couldn't even see him.
I also think that was anime only. I don't recall him doing the zigzags in the manga, but no, he's formidable. I'm not even gonna hold you. I just feel like Tanjiro can deal with it.
He wouldn't win if his Zenitsu's asleep. He's not winning right now. Tanjiro's the main character, so of course,
I mean,
at
he's the
one
main
point,
too. So let's be real here. He's gonna
yeah,
win.
but this is a fabricated, so he doesn't have just a fight.
He's gonna be cut in half,
show.
and then he's gonna awaken a new fucking breathing form that allows him to put himself back together, and then he's gonna kill him.
So he's gonna be isekai'd. He's gonna learn a cheat skill, and then he's gonna come back.
He's an MC, right?
Yeah, totally.
He literally mind you, this is not going to be the show. He literally beats the most powerful demon in history just because he suddenly remembers how to do all 8 of his fire breathing forms or sun breathing forms, and then he does it literally for hours straight all night long until they finally defeat him.
Yeah. So
we haven't even talked about the fact that he has the ability to fight for hours on end, while Zenitsu is limited for how long he can stay asleep. But
I mean, it's unlimited because that last fight, he didn't wake up.
Hit while he was sleeping? I just can't remember necessarily.
Yeah, the girl with the scarf shit in her neck, the last fight.
Yeah.
The big fight.
She hit him while he was asleep?
Yeah, he was asleep, and him and Inosuke both got thrown through a building.
And
they were on the ground. And he was asleep, and then they both got back up, and that's when they finally were able to get both the heads cut off. While Tanjiro was on his knees with a scythe in his mouth, fucking like, oh, okay, I need to get some.
If we're gonna talk about that ass pull, let's talk about the ass pull of him staying asleep while being thrown through buildings.
If you're knocked out, we gotta talk about.
If I punch you in your face while you sleep, you're gonna wake up. Let's be real here.
But if you punch me so hard that it rattles my brain and I'm already asleep, it could just knock me out. There's a difference between unconscious and asleep. There's actually a scientific difference between that and that.
Is his power linked to his unconsciousness, or is it linked to his being asleep?
I think it's just linked to being
unconsciousness. So the unconsciousness. Then. So if he gets knocked out, he can just get back up and start fighting in his unconscious form. That's kind of.
Let's talk about the Aspull of Inosuke moving his heart so he doesn't die.
Look here, he grew up in the forest his whole life. That makes sense. No, let me stop. That shit was stupid. I was like, what? The fact that he can like turn into a snake and slither through pipes and shit. No, it wasn't pipes. It was through like the underground tunnels and stuff. That's neither here or there, but we're gonna look at some scenes offline. But let's go ahead and jump back into it.